Okay, Sally, check my bookmark first before I penalize my bookmark because always wrong one. Supposed to in the verse number 72, right? In the middle, right? Sally, it is correct.
Yeah, it's on page 126.
I begin it according to the profound teaching. Am I right?
We should start from there lah.
Yeah, okay lah. So I don't penalize my bookmark lah. Okay. So class, if we take a look to the sketch, remember now we are in the three vehicle. So in the very beginning, we define what does it mean as a three vehicle, and you must have a renunciation in order to be in the three vehicle. So anyway, in three vehicle, we include monk and also layman, the more things-orientated people or the intellectual-oriented people. So we have a different category people who will be in the three vehicle. Okay. So after we finish, we talk about this. So we shift to another. Then we will talk about Four Noble Truths. Okay. So for Four Noble Truths, number one is the suffering. We already finished already. Okay. So second is the accumulation. Actually, today now we are in the accumulation. What is the cause for the suffering? Okay. So the cause of the suffering. So today we will talk about the karma created by three doors. We will talk about all the defilement, maybe the gross one, the subtle one, the ignorance. That will be our scope for today. Okay. So roughly, let's take a look at. If we take a look to our diagram, see. Okay. So meaning to say that so here, difference from the aspect of the livelihood, we already finished. Okay, among sometimes they could be hermitage life, and maybe the one who wandering among the villages. Okay, then we go to the stage number 2. So stage number 2. Overview of the Four Noble Truths we have gone through. So now the Noble Truth of suffering, and now we are in the Noble Truth of accumulation of the suffering. So we expect maybe today we will go to the Noble Truth of the cessation of suffering, which is about the Nibbana. Okay, so let's take a look to the diagram to this. So in the previous lesson, when in verse number 72, karma consists of the physical, verbal, and mental. Okay, so then the karma that could be good, bad, and the neutral, and the extinction of karma can compare to sit or perfuming. So we could example that sometimes karma accumulate the karma itself, just like the perfume bottle. Even though you finish using the perfume, but the fragrance still remain in the bottle. Okay, so this is we call it as a habit. Then no karma will be lost 100,000 of kappa. So I think and sentient being experiencing birth or death in according with the karma cannot escape from the three realms. So I think today we are in this verse somewhere here. Okay, so we come to here. According to the profound meaning. Yes, Sally, can you please read the passage? According to the profound meaning, yes.
According to the profound meaning of the Buddha Dharma, to say that karma has passed away or has been instantly extinguished do not mean that it has become nothing, but rather that it has transformed from actual existence to another phenomenon. It can be said that becoming extinct or having passed away is not synonymous with non-existence, for karma still exists. Of course, the karma has passed away is different from that which exists now. When matter is transformed from substance into energy, for example, it will definitely not the case that it is non-existent. It can no longer be confined to material concepts of volume, substance, and resistance, however. Likewise, after the instantaneous disappearance of karmic forces, it still exists. For Of course, it does not exist right now, but when it encounters the union of certain causes and conditions, it will bring about rewards and retribution, which is just how energy transforms back to matter. If certain causes conditions do not unite, the karmic forces will remain forever. It will not be lost in hundreds, thousands, or innumerable karpas. It will still be able to bring about the effects.
Okay, never mind, and thank you so much. Okay, please highlight the point first. Some more here. Okay, class, let's take a look. I mean, by just looking at the sentence, it looks quite fearful. It looks quite scary, is it? Here, according to the sentence, it mentioned that as long as you create the karma will be there about forever. It seems like forever. And if let's say you do a study at the 地藏经, 地藏经 also keep on mentioning that it's there our thought every time it's a karma, it's an effect. Also looks quite horrible, it's quite scary. But actually, if you go through the Abhidhamma, or maybe to the way to Buddhahood, it can go to details and make you feel not that scared. Okay, number one, actually the karma, we have a different category of karma. So some karma, according to Abhidhamma, if let's say the karma is very strong enough, it will go through the whole connective process. The whole connective process can finish. Okay, and then that karma will be strong enough and it will be permanently exist. Okay, one example is from Moggallana. Okay, I think you heard about it. Moggallana died due to for being smashed his head. Okay, well, he is famous for his psychic. How come it happened? It's due to also many kapara ago, I think 500 years ago, Moggallana, sabotaged with his wife to kill his parent. Actually, his wife is the culprit. Okay, once his parents are blind, both are blind, both was blind. So they try to send them to the jungle, and Moggallana disguised as a murderer and appeared want to kill his parent. So after after influenced by his wife, so once he started to do the killing, suddenly his parents say, "Oh, my son, please just go away. Please just go away." So Moggallana immediately feel regret, meaning to say that before his parents die, his parents always thinking his son, but now he tried to murder his parent, so he felt regret. So finally he dropped the plan, so without killing his parent. But this karma is strong enough, so after 500 years, it become a karma to become obstacle for Moggallana. So at that moment, Moggallana has been, chased by some murderer to kill him. After the murderer had been rewarded for a few of the goals. So Moggallana tried to go into the psychic, to samadhi, and want to perform psychic and run away. But he failed to go into the samadhi. So according to the commentary, the obstacle is due to this karma 500 years ago, which he committed. So after 500 years, it ripened. So make him cannot perform psychic, and then he smashed until the egg broken. Then the karma gone. So he just appeared, used his psychic to go to bid farewell to Shakyamuni, and then he ended to the Nibbana. So meaning to say that if let's say the karma is strong enough, for example, I think basically is the strong enough can be sustainable for 100 kappa, must be the strong and heavy karma. For example, the samadhi you practiced before, the vipassana you practiced before. If let's say you commit the 5 precepts, basically it involves human. You kill the human before, and you steal from the human. Okay, yeah, I mean must be the heavy form, the strong type, or sexual misconduct. A lie must be the great lying, and likewise, the good karma also will be sustainable for 100 kappas. Okay, you do you do good, you help many people, okay, and then you benefit many people. Then you do the giving, you save, all this, and you do the samatha, all this. So meaning to say, no matter good or bad karma, as long as if let's say, if it is strong enough, basically it's a strong or habitual karma, they will be sustained. Quite, we can say it forever. Okay. So no need to be scary. No matter good or bad karma, they will just accompany us. But as long as, even though you see, sometimes we create some heavy or bad karma in previous life, right? But we don't worry. The reason is now we learn the Dharma. We'll try to perform a lot of good karma. So once the bad karma arises, the effect, will be reduced, or we create leverage. Am I correct? So it will be reduced. The powerful is not as strong there. For example, according to the past karma, your past heavy karma, maybe you should die. So you end up with a car accident, maybe in front of the hospital. But since you do a lot of good karma, so the accident took place in front of the hospital. And then immediately you met Kamling. So Kamling said, oh, I called doctor for you, no problem, even though you were a car accident. So immediately the doctor come. Immediately they save you, you see. So mean to say it's a strong karma, actually you should die, but just because the accident happened in front of the hospital, you see. And then the doctor is there, all the facility there, then finally you are okay. So one bad karma gone already, but you are still okay. It's due to all the good karma you create, they were trying to counter effect with the bad karma. It's the same, even though you create some good karma, sometimes you create the bad karma. Okay, maybe the accident happened in the desert, or that even though you are very rich, but you can't use the money to save yourself because the hospital is very far away, you see. So meaning to say that even though sometimes you create a lot of good karma, but you can't use it to settle your problem. So that's what we say, that as long as we do the repentance, we create all the good karma, we can just reduce the effect of the bad karma. So this, we call it as what? Let's see here. So even though it go to the many kappas, it's say we don't lost 100 years, but we don't really worry about that. I think coming, you can feel a lot of things, right? Because you see so many cases in hospital, it could be many possibility, right? It could be very good in the beginning, end up in the bad. And sometimes it sounds bad, but end up with the good. Am I right, Kamling? On the mic.
During nursing, can see lah. Now you know.
Quite hard to say, right?
Some recover, some don't.
But if you go to ICU, basically the recovery rate is very low, right?
Yeah.
If they admit to
very old, sick.
But if let's say the people who recover from ICU, can you say like strike a lottery?
Can be. That's why I don't like to work in ICU and emergency.
Why?
A bit scary.
Very scary.
ICU means one-to-one. Like you see so ill, then go to ICU and do a lot of tests and a lot of lines on the body.
Yeah.
Many lines, and then not easy to nurse. You have to turn the patient, all that. As for emergency, I didn't request to be there. Only during student only. Because scary also. The accident is very bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, since both my parents have been admitted to ICU, my father passed away finally, but my mother, we are able to save her. Besides the medical assistant, one thing is the Qigong. So class, you work out with your Qigong. Next time you use it, you can pump some Qigong to your parents because the doctor have done everything already. So every time doctor and nurse will just tell you one thing, oh, the patient is about to die. He can die nearly very soon. The doctor and the nurse keep on telling him all these things in ICU. They don't bother you. Of course, a family member, you wish them for being recovered. But the doctor, they said, no, I will tell you, I mean, very soon already. He's about to go already. The doctor nurse used to tell something like that. Am I right? Kamling, once you see doctor will never disclose any good news for you. Always the bad news for you. See or not? So meaning to say in ICU, the only thing remain is your merit already. Am I right? You got the merit, then you recover. You recover. If you pass away, for doctor, it is within the expectation. So we have to know what the doctor mindset, and we really can see the effect of karma is in ICU. Am I right, Kamling? The only thing we can explain is why people some recover is you can say is because of karma, right? Good karma, right? Because all doctors do the same thing. They just put so many tubes to you, use a lot of machines to help you. All the patients are sent in ICU. But why some recover? But why some they don't? Right? The only thing is maybe the religion's part. Does doctor believe the religion's part? And do they use the religion theory during the ICU?
No lah.
They don't believe.
I don't think so. Doctor will use that because depends on the patient. Patient also mostly cannot talk already.
So the family member, they themselves, they do it, right?
Yeah.
Will doctor say that, okay, since we try our best already, so please use your own religions, do the rest. Will doctor say that like that?
No, doctor won't say, doctor, I'm not sure lah. Now doctors are very different from those times doctors. I really don't, I mean, many years already, I don't go with doctors, you see. I only see doctors in the clinic only, normal clinic, not in the ward, not in the ward.
I see.
I don't know what is their behavior now.
Yeah, what we can think besides all the medical assistant already. Okay, this is a good, I mean, next time if possible, we try to ask how does the doctor in ICU, they think once they do their part, the rest, it just depends on the karma or depends on the God or up to who. That's a good question. Okay, next, let's take a look. We go to the next. Yes, Yukwa, can you please read the next passage? Sentient being.
Sentient beings experiencing the retribution of birth and death in accordance with their particular karma, transmigrate within the 5 destinies for life after life. Because this movement is trivial and neutral by efficiency, no matter how good or lofty the karma of sentient beings may be, they cannot escape from the 3 realms. That is the 3 words for the activities of sentient beings: the realm of desire, form, and formlessness. In these 3 realms, birth and death continue forever. The goal of the world transiting Dharma of the 3 vehicles is to extinguish the fundamental causes of birth and death, so as to avoid being bound by them in the 3 realms ever again. Only through this can one achieve the Buddha Dharma's goal of grace and emancipation.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, class, let's take a look. So according to passage, it mentioned that the karma itself, it will just, bring us for reincarnation in the 5 realms. Okay. But if let's say we want to make the karma become more concrete as a human, so class, you can ask yourself, the people you met in this life, okay, the opportunity you get in your job, okay, and then the wealth, maybe you strike the lottery, or maybe you have been scammed, all this. Maybe you can say that that is the consequence, that is the outcome of the karma. Okay, but okay, the people you met, maybe he's a good people, or maybe can be bad people. How do you enhance the relationship? How do you grasp the opportunity? Once you fail, do you really learn something from your failure? Or when you success, do you learn something from your success? All this is by our volition. Okay, class, do you agree or not? So meaning to say that, you see, why so many people you didn't met, but you met maybe your husband? Okay, why so many people you didn't met, but you met this boss? Am I right? So there must be some karma effect then born you to met him. But once you met him, whether you can make full use with the relationship, you are the one who decided. So this is the volition. This is the one you can decide. But who to met, who become our parents, who become your husband or wife, you can't decide. Sometimes you can, especially parent, you cannot decide what. You cannot choose what. Karma choose for you. See or not? Same if you admit to the hospital, which one doctor you met, it's really depend on the karma. Right? Sometimes even you spend a lot of money in private hospital, but you still you don't met the right doctor, meet things complicated. Some people just maybe go to government hospital, but he is able to meet a good doctor, even spend little money, but he can get a good treatment. Am I right? Elena, I think you can feel the same thing. So what we met here, but the important thing is, how do you decide? How do you encounter it? That is the important thing. Okay. And sometimes the karma, since the present effort and the karma, they will be mingled together. It's quite hard for us to pick it up. There's one good case for us to see the past life karma. For example, especially if the children very small children, they get the chronic disease. For example, you get cancer. So quite simple. We can conclude that it is conclusive that is the karma. Why? Because the kids are maybe just 10 years old or less than 10 years old. This is impossible for him. The time is not long enough. And let the other cause to create the cancer. So the doctor basically will just conclude that, this is a genetic problem. But why do you carry this genetic, but the rest that don't carry the genetic? But how come all the siblings, you are the only one who carry it? So this is out of the scope of the doctor already. So we explain that this is your karma. Okay, and same when you struck the lottery, right? How come you strike, but the rest they don't strike the lottery? So that must be the karma effect there. Because this striking lottery is something you're paying not much effort, you just buy only, but you get a big sum of money. And the cancerous, the sickness like a cancer also, you it just come like that. See or not? So this is quite obvious. We could an example is due to the past life karma. But no wonder how present life effort is so important. So sometimes, especially the youngster who become millionaire, usually the wealth end up become a disaster. Am I right? If you go to the article, most of the young millionaire, they will end up penniless, then they start to have a normal life. Their life end up become devastation when the money comes to them. So we need to say that whether the money become a disaster, or maybe some people they become a handicap or in the very early age, but the handicap motivate them, so make them become a great people and give talk and they become a motivation speaker to everywhere. See, so it really depends. Meaning to say karma sometimes is fixed already. It will come, but we ourselves to decide how to make full use of the karma and make the life become more meaningful. Okay, get it? So that is the modern way. Okay, but class, can you try to think? Okay, can you try to think? The people you met in your this life, maybe in your career, maybe in the friendship, okay, all these things, do you from here, do you really believe this is a karma? You can't decide one. Just to know why you met him one. Do you agree this or not? Agree, Mr. Long, Mrs. Long, they both agree, because it seems my one power to make both of you, to make each other become husband and wife, okay, so how about the rest? You feel the same thing, right? So there's a karma effect. So how about the opportunity in your career? Do you think that because you met some people, then you have a present successful in your career? Do you think so?
I share last time when I work in a few companies, so my boss somehow will make me resign one, I cannot. Somehow their attitude is so, I cannot tahan. So they say, "Ayo, change job again." Then go to another bad one, another one. So after I think three or four like that, then the last one when I come back to hospital, this last one, so there's one finance manager also my can consider the bigger boss. So she also like that. Why your pay so high one? Why you are here? Making me like, ayo, this lady, HR is the one who pay me and HR is the one who recruit me, and here you are telling that why I'm in this position. Executive only lah. So somehow this time I like, I'm not going anywhere lah. My age also like that already, 50 already. Why should I run away? I don't want to run away because it will still chase me, I know already. The thing will keep chasing me. If I go away, this thing won't resolve. The bad boss will still be the next one, so I stay on. So I stay on, at least now I'm calmer.
Yeah. And then coming to do one thing. Tomorrow you go to meet the lady and tell them, according the Dharma, you are my karma. So this version, you are my karma. I will just keep on being here. That's the thing. Yeah, how about the rest? So this is a good example. You feel that you're really something. The power is there. How about the rest? Your job, maybe the people you met, maybe your career ruined before, or all these things.
I think for me, I can relate to what Kam Ling's one, but I cannot tahan my boss, so I resign.
Do you talk to your boss that you are my bad karma? Do you mention to your boss?
No lah, I just tell her I cannot work with you.
But anyway, I mean, since you quit, maybe you can make better job. We don't know, right? Because meaning to say the karma is in the ending already. This consequence. So the relationship gone. So meaning to say that a lot of karma as a human is related to the human one. That's the most complicated one. Except class, you go to the first jhana, the upper Brahma realm, then nobody, you yourself only. If you really hate it, to have a relationship with human, so maybe you just meditate to the first jhana. Hopefully next time you are alone only. That's the best. So this is for Kamling and Amanda. You are alone only. In the first jhana, the Brahma realm, you alone. No people to disturb you. You are the king. You are everything. So this is something. But besides, the first realm under, the realm which is under the Brahma, all will be some relationship. You will see other people. Other will be quite relate to you. Okay. So that's what we call it. Okay. So next we go to the next one. Okay, we go to the three evil roots. Okay, yes, Amanda, your turn to read, please.
The afflictions, desire, anger, and ignorance are the roots of all evils. Ignorance is like being drunk and confused. The fault of anger is serious and that of greed is deep. Bad factors and evil portions of the mind, whether they are intellectual, emotional, or volitional, are all incorrect and inappropriate. They cause us to be agitated and annoyed. That which causes instability, disharmony, and uneasiness is called an affliction. Afflictions create all kinds of karma, leading to future suffering. Afflictions are very complex, but three of them, desire, anger, and ignorance, are the sources of all evil. They are called the three evil roots. Calling them roots means
Sorry, wait, yes. Okay, yes.
Calling them roots means that all afflictions can be divided into the three broad categories of desire, anger, and ignorance. All other afflictions are simply the branches and divisions of these three. For example, craving, defilement, covetousness, attachment, stinginess, fraudulence, arrogance, restlessness, and etc. are forms of desire. Fury, hatred, annoyance, jealousy, etc. are forms of anger. False views, doubt, unbelief, stupor, forgetfulness, non-discernment, and etc. are forms of ignorance. All sentient beings have afflictions, but each has different inclinations. People who have a certain category of afflictions will have a corresponding personality. For instance, there are people with desirous, angry, or ignorant personalities. People who do not have a particular inclinations toward any one of the three categories have personalities that are equally made up of all three. As a more detailed classification, there are also 19 types of personalities. Since the afflictions are too numerous to explain here in detail, the three evil roots will suffice as an illustration. Ignorance is stupidity. It is also a state of being unenlightened, of not knowing anything about the practical aspect or the principles of reality. That is not to say that one does not know anything. On the contrary, one has a certain kind of knowledge, but it is wrong, distorted. It seems to be correct, but is really incorrect. It is like being drunk and confused. Thus, one takes the affirmative as the negative and the negative as the affirmative, and the existence to be non-existent and the non-existent to be existent. One says what one should not, laughs at one should not, cries when one should not, and does what one should not. Confusion, distortion, and suspicious. Such are the forms of ignorance. These afflictions are the most difficult to treat completely. As for what is not known, this includes not knowing about good and evil, not knowing about cause and effect, not knowing about karma and result, not knowing about ordinary people and sages, not knowing about practical aspect and principles. As for what is known, one knows the impermanent as the permanent. Unhappiness is happiness. The impure as the pure. The non-existence of the self as the self. One either has doubt about the practical aspect or the principles of reality, or has erroneous views about them.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Okay, finish. Okay, class, let's take a look. According to our title, we are in the three roots. Okay, okay. Basically, once we talk about in the three roots, it's anger, greedy, and stupidity. But why do we call it as a root? Because they are the major defilement, and the major defilement is due to the ignorance. So, what is the ignorance? Ignorance is something quite hardly to explain. Ignorance meaning to say that we are in the situation that we don't see the truth. We are always in the perception that we are in the, how to say that, we are living in an entity which is quite permanent. Okay, so class, you can have a, can you try to feel, do you feel a body, class, now? Right, you feel a body, do you feel the body, is it solid? Solid, right? Solid, okay, now maybe you are on the fan, or maybe you are in the aircon, you have the feeling is quite solid, am I right? You feel cold, you feel comfortable, or you feel hot, right? But basically, if for sage, they don't feel all this. The sensation, what they feel is the rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall. The sensation is keep on changing, and the physical body also keep on changing for every second. Nowadays, if you use the microscope, especially electron microscope, so I mean now the science already proved that basically our body every second is keep on rise and fall. Okay, so but since we don't see the truth, so we are considered in the ignorance. Once we have an ignorance, basically whatever we see and what we hear and what we smell, everything, the feeling, all is quite permanent. Since we feel that it's a permanent, so we have a wrong view that the thing is permanent, then we start to attach what we like it. Or maybe we feel angry at something we dislike, and we are always in the situation of stupidity. Okay, meaning you say that our mind is always in skeptical, or in the or maybe in the scattering the mind. The situation is always in the scattering. So this is the defilement we used to encounter. So this is the major one. So we call it as a three root. But from the three root, we can go to the more subtle one. For example, you feel from angry is the more major. So maybe the subtle is the jealousy, the stinginess, okay, and then so this is something there, as whereas from the greedy, it can be from the strong attachment, maybe you attach to your partner, a very strong one, and you attach to your own body, then it can be go to the minor attachment. Maybe you eat to like. You prefer eating some tidbits or this or that, so this is a minor attachment, you see. So we got gross one and we got the minor one. So from this chapter we talk about all this, see. Okay, let's check what is the important things to go through, any terminologies. Okay, a class, basically, let's say, even though we mentioned that there's a three root, but basically our personality is categorized according to our habit. If you are the greedy type people, meaning to say that you used to arise the greedy, whatever you see. For the greedy type people, once they see things, they used to see the beautiful part of the thing, and they will take longer time for them to stare at something. And sometimes this type of people they become more. They do everything very slow. They admire the process. Okay, so this is the greedy type people. Whereas for the anger type people, they do things fast, eat fast, walk fast, everything fast. Basically, they want effective, very they can finish the job very soon, but they don't bother so much process, you see. So this is the anger type people. So basically, wherever they see, they will see the negative part. So we call it as a greedy type people. So you see, greedy type people used to see the negative of the thing, and once they keep on do the thing in this way, this habit will enhance the personality, will shape their personality, and this personality will keep on. To enhance their verbal and thought and action. And make them getting more and more negative. So that's why for personality, if you know who you are, you should try to make yourself balanced. It should be proper that you make yourself balanced. So, whereas for the delusion type people, it's the same. They are always in the skeptical mind. They keep on changing their mind. They cannot decide one thing. So this we call it as delusion. So meaning to say that as a Buddhist, once we know our character, we should do the meditation. And maybe you can change from the aspect of the food, okay, to balance yourself. For example, for the greedy people, basically the greedy type people, they look not that tall one, and they used to have a tummy, okay, they prefer eat the greasy food, or basically for greedy type people, if they eat peanut, they will eat the whole package one. Because they enjoy the greasy food, okay, and basically if they fall in sleep, they can sleep very sound one. They will wake up one. They can sleep very sound, and they prefer stable lifestyle. They dislike traveling. So this is, we call it as a greedy type people. So in order to encounter them, they should try to eat more fresh vegetable, and then they should go for more traveling. Okay, since they are very inertial, lack of activity, so they have to force themselves to be more to be active in order to get the balance. See or not? Whereas for anger type people, basically anger type people, they have very good digestive power. They're very dominant, so they prefer spicy food. And so this is why they should reduce the spicy food intake, because spicy food make them more even worse temper, you see. But that will be the preference. So they have to know they shouldn't eat. They should reduce it. They should take also more fresh vegetable, and also to balance themselves. And they should learn how to see things in positive way. And listen more to the people to balance their character. Whereas for delusion people, they should do more meditation, especially anapanasati, so that the mind not fluctuating. Basically, especially for this stupidity type people, they should avoid traveling, because they themselves, the character is always flip-flop, meaning it's keep on changing. So they shouldn't always involve in traveling, because traveling itself, the schedule is keep on changing one. So they should in a more stable lifestyle. And then for this type of people, if they wrongly take plenty salad or ice cream, they will start feel fearful one. Why? Because the wind element is too strong within their body. And this type of people, they cannot sleep sound one. They can easily alert by certain things. So you know that this is the part. So they should eat more what? Potato. According to Ayurveda, they should eat more sweet potato, because the potato look heavy, so can make them more heavy, something like that. Because the problem is they are too light, like a wind always just change drastically. The mood also change drastically. So that's why they must have a balance for themselves. For anger type people, should do more metta bhavana. For the greedy type people, they should do more foulness contemplation. So this is we can balance them through the food, through the meditation, and through the yoga. Okay, so let's we talk about this. Okay, class, can you check for me? 19 type personality, number 10. What is the reference for this? Number 10. Yeah, where is it?
Sutra on practicing the stages of the way. 修行到地境.
Oh, okay, 修行到地境. Okay, class, basically this sutra is origin in Xinjiang, Western region. This is not origin from Indian. It is, the sutra is compiled, I think maybe somewhere in Afghanistan, Pakistan, maybe more accurate is in Xinjiang, I think. Just somewhere we call it as the Middle East. So you can take note this sutra is origin from the Middle East, not from Indian. So meaning to say that in Western region, Middle East, the meditation is quite popular. And if I'm not mistaken, it was translated by Kumaraj Shiva. It was translated by Kumarajiwa. Okay, Okay, next, let's take a look. So we roughly know this. Okay, class, ignorance is the stupidity. This is, we call it as avidya. So class, you can just try to copy ignorance, Buddhism. Maybe I use this ignorance. Yeah. Please copy down the Pali terms. Sometimes English and Chinese cannot 100% accurately to describe it. Here is it, avidya. Further from paticca samuppada. So the definition ignorance, we call it. Sometimes we call it as a moha also, moha avidya. So coming tomorrow, you go back to the office, you tell the lady, you say, due to avidya, I met you. You are my karma, and I am your karma also.
She after that not my boss already. She accepted after that she confirmed me. Oh, that time, yeah, she don't want to confirm me after my 6 months. She talked like that, so I ignore her lah. Later she said extend 3 months more. So what to do? Extend another 3 months, but I stay on instead of resigning.
So coming next time, you just tell her that you are really my karma. I tell you,
karma.
According to my dharma, you are my karma. You see.
Now already fine already. Now okay already.
Yeah. But maybe he will explain. According to my Christian, you are created by my God. Maybe he say you are the demon. Yeah.
Sifu, I found out she stay behind me only, no.
Yes.
Two rows behind.
Okay. You see, from religious perspective, you see, sometimes when we can explain something, we need something from religions. For Buddhism, we call it a good or bad karma. For them, I think they will call it, maybe you are the demon or maybe you are the God, you're sent by the God, something like that. I think Christian, they will explain in this way. No matter how, this is how our religions try to express the truth in the world. Okay, then we go to the next paragraph again. Okay, anger. Okay, whose turn to read? Let me see. Elena, please. Anger.
Anger is aversion that comes from being dissatisfied with conditions. If expressed, it is described as fury, disputation, harmfulness, and anger. If stored in the mind, it is described as resentment, hatred, and jealousy. These faults are very serious. Not only are bad things done because of them, but also good deeds may be destroyed because of one's lack of tolerance, perhaps by a single angry thought. From the past to the present, each of us has been in a close relationship with all other sentient beings. One should therefore have compassion without anger and harmfulness in order to be of benefits to oneself and not to harm others. Being harmonious with others benefit both oneself and others. The affliction of anger is just the opposite of this harmony. It is the source of all extremely violent and wicked crimes. As the sutra says, the rise of an anger thought can open 80,000 doors to obstacles. It also says that anger is like the fire that burns up all the good rules. Greed is the attachment to oneself and to all that is related to oneself. One broods over the past, is attached to the present, and is desirous of the future. Although greed is not as serious as the fire of anger, it penetrates thoroughly like water. This fault is very deep. Greedy desire is primarily self-love that is concerned with the present and the future. With regard to others, For example, this is love for one's parents, children, siblings, and friends. With regard to things, it is love for one's wealth, business, scholarship, and fame. Although one can do many good deeds through greed, they are only partially good because they are based on the defiling love of the self. Sometimes such love can turn into anger towards others. For anger is the other side of love. Loving to an extreme can become the utmost hatred sometimes. According to the Buddha, this is also the way people are. It is also characteristic of this selfish love, which is attached to everything, that it is affected by change and therefore causes suffering. So the Buddha said, when love arises, suffering arises.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point, class. Okay, some more here. Okay, class, take a look. We mentioned this before. In Buddhism, we have strict definition. Okay, once we call it as anger. If let's say we feel dissatisfied with the condition, okay, as long as we dissatisfied, and if let's say you restore it in the mind, we call it as a resentment or hatred. Okay. So coming next time, your boss say, I'm angry with you. So you correct her. You say, no, you should say, I hate you, because you store all the anger in the mind. So that is to be hate, is not angry. You should correct her. Next time, you say, according to Buddhist study, you should use the word hate, not angry with me. Okay. So that we have a strict definition actually.
Hate is very strong. Right?
But if let's say you remember, you restore the hate, it will become hate. Yeah, become hate. Hate meaning to say you store in the mind. But if let's say I don't like you, I say, oh, I dissatisfied with you. This is a Buddhism terminology. Hate is not really strong. It's because you just remember it, you call it as a hate. And then if let's say people success, the success of the people, you feel very uneasy, we call it as the jealousy. Okay, we call it jealousy. The people, his success. Basically, the success of your enemy can make you feel dislike. So we can hardly to feel rejoice the success of our enemy. But anyway, basically in the normal life, we'll try to hide. For Easterner, we prefer hide. the hatred, because we hope that one day there's still opportunity to meet each other to avoid embarrassment. So this is how the Easterner will do. But for Westerner people, they prefer tell you everything. They will say, I jealous you, I hate you, I dislike you. So this is their style, but sometimes it will cause embarrassment. So I think maybe Kamling, you will just disclose to her everything once you're about to quit. So if before quitting, better don't tell many things first. Am I right? This is how Easterner.
Yeah, when you leave a company, you cannot say bad things. It will come back to you. Maybe you. That's why I said when I worked in this hospital before, I worked for 1.5 years. Then I went out to another company, and after 2 years, I came back. So you never know when you will U-turn back on that company.
So it really is a karma. So
yeah. That's the only company that I worked two times. I mean, the hospital. I never work in a company same time. I mean again and again. No, I never go back to the same company.
You're very funny, okay.
My karma that go to hospital.
yeah. Okay, so this is about the angry, the definition. But one thing I think maybe from here you can see your shadow. You see, basically, if let's say you are the angry type people, meaning to say you used to destroy the thing. But since we learn Buddhism, we start to build the relationship, we start to do good. But sometimes we cannot eradicate our anger within one night. So it happens that you will try to build up and then you will destroy it again. Then you build up the good relationship and good deed, and then you destroy it again. So it will happen in this way. So please give yourself some time. Of course, everybody want to become a kind people, right? After become a Buddhist, but just you cannot help it. So just forgive yourself. Okay. So that's why it's the opposite thing. Basically, for hatred type people, sometimes the hardest people to forgive is they themselves, because they're over demanding for themselves. Okay. So tomorrow go and tell your boss, please forgive yourself. Maybe your boss said, sorry, I'm always forgiving myself actually. Okay, it's so funny. Okay. Okay, next, let's take a look. It's a greedy. So class, take a look. Greedy can be from, you see the great example. Let's see. A greedy usually attachment to oneself and relate to oneself. You see, it could be the past, it could be the present. Sorry, I want to highlight. I remember one point. Basically, let's say, okay, you know your boss. Okay, your boss decide your bonus. Your boss decide your future. Okay, basically, if let's say, okay, if your boss is a hatred dominance type people, so just don't let don't let him know that you like something or somebody which he doesn't like. Okay. Okay. Sometimes the dominance, the hatred type people, they were angry because in the past, okay, you like something he doesn't like. Maybe in present you like something he doesn't like. Maybe in the future, if you're going to like something he doesn't like, he also will be very angry. So these are angry type people. Okay, and then dominance people doesn't like the success of his enemy. So don't praise your boss enemy in front of him, including past, present, and future. So this is their tendency, because they don't have the tolerance, the heart to tolerate all this. So in order to get a better bonus and have a better position in the company, just be quiet. Don't say all these things. What you can only say is you can only tell your boss that who he likes, okay, who he likes, the thing he likes, past, present, and future. Because this is the tendency. So you have to know what to tell, what shouldn't tell. Okay, it's a Buddhism way to see things. Not everybody know. Some people they are quite naive. We just don't know what to talk and when to talk and who to talk. Some people they were like that. Okay. Okay, next, let's take a look. So this is basically once we talk about attachment, you see, the one who we love mostly is the parent, children, sibling, and the friends. Class, this also depends on the individual. For the dominance people, basically the achievement in the career is stronger than the happiness, the joy are brought by the achievement in the career more than loving the family member. But for greedy type people, they will get more satisfaction dealing with family member than the career. So actually it depends on which type people you are. Okay. So if you know who they are, as a boss, okay, you know what to reward them, so that they will do exactly what you wish. So this is important to learn all this. Buddhism provide a good perspective for you. Okay, then sometime, one thing, last thing is here. Love can turn out become anger. So the stronger the attachment, when it's turned out become the anger even more stronger. I think it happened especially between the partner and the lover. Especially the lover, the more attached they are. Finally, I heard basically, not everybody is good in handling the relationship. Sometimes, even though you cannot become the lover, but you can become a good friend. I think Western people can do this, handle it. I heard that Western people can handle it better. But for Eastern people, as long as they are not lover anymore, they will try to just, they will try to destroy even a little of the kindness. From the perception, they will try to destroy even a little bit of the good impression. They will try to destroy it. I don't know whether it's right or not. Basically, they say Eastern people they will handle things like it. But for Western people, they cannot become a lover. They can turn out become a good friend. It is correct, Elena. It is true. Western people can handle better than Eastern people. It's correct. So just be smart in handling the relationship, because the anger and the love are basically, they are just one go to opposite to another. So just be careful. And if you compare the attachment and the anger, basically actually attach. Okay, so which one you think which is more unnoticeable for you? Maybe we can call it which is more dangerous actually. Greedy and attachment, you think? Sally, which one you think is more dangerous? It sounds more dangerous.
Attachment.
Why?
I don't know.
You don't know. You can just tell only. Just answer by 6 cents only.
Yes.
Hopefully you do sit examination by 6 cents. Okay, Mr. Leong, okay. Why? I think it's correct. Attachment is even more dangerous than anger. You think why, Mr. Leong? On the mic, please, Mr. Leong.
Because of a desire and the ego, we cannot let go.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, the point actually I wish to emphasize is sometimes the joy from the greediness, which will make us mindless, because the joy there. Remember, all the attachment got joy one, you see. So the joy will make you forget yourself. But the angry, because it's very gross, you can feel, I feel angry. So you'll be more careful. You will be more careful. But due to the joy, I think you forget. So remember, they got 2 cases. The real estate, they try to demean the Grab driver. Remember in Facebook recently? Why? Because they are in the joy already, Once they're in the joy, they talk, and they feel happy. They feel happy also at the same time demean people. So they don't know they have they already have a very strong, a defamation to people already. They don't realize that. It's due to the joy during the conversation that make them reckless, you see. So actually the attachment even more dangerous, because they are actually in the detachment, they laugh, feel so happy by demeaning the Grab and demeaning the fishmonger, all these things, Okay, maybe Elena said you don't know, because everything is the Mandarin. You don't know, right? You don't know, okay, never mind, okay. So the reasoning, this is the hottest one reasoning. Okay, now we go to the verse number 74. Okay, who haven't read the passage yet? 74. Maybe Sally. Sally, can you please Yeah, Sally, your turn to read the passage. The Buddha.
The Buddha, to include all afflictions, points to self-centered views, self-love, ignorance, and arrogance. Because of the attachment to I and mine, birth and death will always continue. The three types of afflictions describe the realm of desire, particularly the experience of human beings. For example, in the realms of form and formlessness, anger will not arise. To include all afflictions of sentient beings, the Buddha has had a separate fourfold classification of afflictions into self-centered views, love, arrogance, and ignorance. These four can be explained in different ways. In ancient times, the virtuous ones called these the four unregistered roots. They are not seriously evil, but they are still afflictions. They are called hidden and unregistered. The minute afflictions were investigated, these four were discovered. These four afflictions are considered to be associated with seven consciousness, particularly in the Mahayana teaching of mere consciousness. Sages have not realized the truth or cut off afflictions always have these four afflictions, which are also special characteristics of sentient beings' afflictions. The four are: 1. Ignorance with regard to self, thinking that there is a self when actually there's no such permanent, unchanging, and independent self. 2. Self-centered view, the illusion of self and the firmly held belief in it. 3. Arrogance of self, insistence upon such a self and the erroneous feelings of self-importance. And 4. Self-love, arrogance of self joined with love of this self. All the self-centered activities of sentient beings develop from these internal special characteristics of afflictions. In the Agama Sutra, another classification is frequently seen. Faults from afflictions are divided into two groups: faulty views or faults in human cognition, which can be corrected with true and firm understanding, and love of or faults in human action, which can be corrected only with firm and true understanding. Frequent awareness and continuous training in the behavior of daily living. Therefore, some people say, knowing is not difficult, doing is very difficult. The process of an ordinary person becoming a stage in which only part of the afflictions are cut off is described as a situation in which residual arrogance has not been completely extinguished. Arrogance is a minute sense of self-importance to the self-centered activities are triggered. If all the afflictions are cut off, then one is liberated. In the case of arahats, residual habits, mostly minute bits of ignorance, are not completely purified. One can eliminate this. Then one truly is completely pure.
Okay, thank you so much. Please highlight the point. Okay, next paragraph. Okay, class, take a look. And now we go to the next one is about the hidden. I think I prefer use the hidden roots. Okay, hidden roots meaning to say that this is the defilement which is hidden, you can't see it, but they themselves will trigger all the defilement to appear. Okay, just now we call it tree root. Tree root quite easy to understand, but for the hidden, it's a little bit tough to understand. Let's take a look, class. Okay. For the hidden, okay, hidden one in number one is is the ignorance with regards to self. Second is a self-centered view. Third one is the arrogance of the self. Number four is the self-love. Class, take a look. You see the self words, see no? Basically, actually, once you have the perception self, the self or ego actually is a wrong perception. Meaning to say that this is something is not supposed to exist, but we think that there's a self. See, so once we have this type of ignorance, we call it or we call it as the deviate view. Then all these four hidden self all appeared already. So all the defilement all relates to these four wrong view. You see, so you see, so from here, once you have the perception that there's something as a self, so you have the self-centered view. You see, everything you just self-centered to your view. Then you will be arrogant. You see, then of course will be self-attachment. So how to correct it, class? It could be correct only with the firm and true understanding. So class, what does it mean, firm and true understanding? There's a two aspect. Number one, maybe just from the sutra. A second, maybe through the meditation. Okay. So I remember there was one case. There's one lady, his baby gone already. Okay. Because I think there will be conflict between his mother-in-law and her. Because his mother-in-law is very fussy. So a lot of pressure. So her baby gone already, miscarriage. So she's very sad. Okay. So I remember I read something to her that I mentioned that I said, okay, why we feel very sad? The reason is because we think everything is permanent. Okay, we hope everything won't change. Okay, so basically, people they will feel that they start have good. They will think that everything should be permanent. Every good thing should be happen according to their wish. But once something it doesn't happen according to their wish, so there will be the gap between the expectation and the reality. So this caused them feel devastated. See or not? So I remember I mentioned this to her. So suddenly she realized, he said, oh yeah, she can let go already once she understands that actually the main reason for her sadness is due to the wrong will. Because you hope that everything is permanent, especially the good thing. So that's why you see now suddenly our belongings, our asset, maybe our good partner, all these things, when they start changing, our emotion will be we change also. Why? Because there is a self hidden behind it. So basically, even though now we can talk or we can analyze, we still will feel sad. But I still believe that by knowing all this, we compare somebody without knowing their sadness can be, their sorrow, they will take longer time to recover from the sorrow. Whereas for us, since now we can talk the Dharma, we can analyze, we can recover sooner. Anybody agree? You found that you can feel better, right? So you see, because once we feel sad again, we will try use the Dharma to heal ourselves. So number one, from the sutra. Second, the true understanding is from the vipassana. I think it's the most powerful tools. So once the vipassana, you're able to see that everything is anicca, dukkha, anatta, then maybe you are totally immune from all the sorrow, according to the theory. Okay. So this is how the true understanding appeared. You see, arrogance is the minute sense of the self-importance through which the self-centered activity are triggered. You see, so in the case, you see a class only Arahant. When you go to the Arahant stage, then you can totally eradicate the arrogance. You see, so this is not that easy. Must go to the Arahant stage, then you're able to eradicate the arrogance. Okay. Okay, class, we stop.